that bank regulators have been running the banks. I saw yesterday that the bank trade associations put out a piece essentially saying the same thing, that it's the bank supervisors that have been individually signing off on certain borrowers at the banks. This is how the debanking of conservatives, of the Trump family, et cetera, that's how it happened, was
Right.
because there was so much discretion. I believe they actually did cross the line and break the law, especially in the case of the FDIC. And I'll talk about that in a second. But stepping back, I do think that they broke the law by crossing that line because there were actual policies for non-discrimination. Although it has come out that the Fed had a policy that it was secret. Senator Lummis was the one who got tipped off to it, that the Fed had a policy of closing banks' accounts if the bank was engaged in controversial activities or had made controversial statements. Okay, so it's not difficult to see how that turned into
Correct.
Operation Choke Point 2.0. There's no question that was unconstitutional. And had anybody known about it, it would
Right.
have been struck down had it been able to be litigated. But all of this is behind closed doors. And so when she was able to reveal that, Jay Powell ran the other direction as fast as he could and said that he had that taken out of their handbook. If that had been challenged, there was a court case, NRA v. Vullo, that specifically said that you can't use bank regulation to stifle First Amendment speech rights. And that clearly did. And that got implemented by the Fed under Jay Powell. Again, if Trump wanted to create cause to fire some of these Fed governors, it's not difficult if he wants to create cause. There's all this discussion whether Trump has the authority to fire Fed governors not for cause. I think those kinds of situations, there's a long list of them with both Powell and Barr, that if Trump wanted to create cause to fire them, he could. Let me give you another example. 2 weeks ago, FinCEN, which is the agency that it's a financial crimes enforcement network. It's part of the U.S. Treasury Department. It enforces sanctions against countries like Iran, for example, North Korea, for example. It announced that it sanctioned 4 Mexican banks. I went to the Fed's database and looked up, and lo and behold, one of those Mexican banks has a Fed master account. What's the impact of that? Those banks got sanctioned for allegedly laundering money for the cartels in Mexico and supporting the fentanyl trade. The Federal Reserve was directly enabling that, and that bank got the account in 2021. So again, it's not difficult to make a case for
Yeah.
cause if Trump wanted to do that.